This is the story of Alfred Jodl, the man who will forever be remembered in world history as the general who signed Germany's surrender in World War II and maybe saved Germany from total destruction. But to know how he received this privilege, let's find out who was Alfred Jodl and his role in Hitler's Germany. Alfred Joseph Ferdinand Jodl was born on the 10th of May 1890 in Würzburg, Bavaria. Like many other Hitler generals who had similar pasts, Jodl also comes from a family with a rich military tradition. His father, Johannes Jodl, was a military officer in the German Empire at that time, and later his younger brother Ferdinand would follow in their footsteps and will become military general as well. Alfred graduated from military cadet school in Munich in 1910, and even his professors saw the potential that this young man had and anticipated his bright future in the army. His first assignment was in World War I on the Western Front, where he served in the battery unit from 1914 to 1916. This would be Jodl's springboard into his further rich military career, where his potential would be noticed by senior officers and he would be awarded the Iron Cross Second Class for his achievement. Later, in 1917, he was awarded with another Iron Cross, now First Class, for his achievement on the Easter Front. Maybe things would have been different, and his fate would have been different if he had chosen a different path after the end of the First World War. After the loss of the German Empire in the war, Alfred Jodl had two choices. One, to leave the shredded German army and start a new and better life for himself and his family and become a doctor, or to be patient and stay in the army, start from scratch and hope for better times. He chose the second option, of course. His time came in 1923 when he was introduced to Adolf Hitler. Alongside his potential and many war decorations in the First World War, the stage was set for Alfred Jodl to become an important figure in the Nazi regime at that time. His first assignment will be as a major of operations under the command of General Ludwig Beck, and this will be one of the best decisions that he ever had. Under his command, Alfred will learn a lot about tactical maneuvers and the organization of the troops that will help him later in the war. But his best is yet to come, when in 1938 he signed the order given by Hitler to attack Austria and start the march of the German army through the New World War. This achievement will bring him new and high positions in his career, and he will become a vital figure in the German regime and one of the closest people to Hitler. As the war progressed, Hitler saw what potential and impact Jodl had on the battlefield, and soon their relationship got closer and closer. At one point, he became the second man behind Wilhelm Keitel, and that was the highest point ever in his career. As the war progressed, the involvement of Alfred Jodl in the war was more and more demanding. He was the mind behind the invasion of the German army in Denmark and Norway, and the invasion of France in 1940. But how he progressed in his career with his achievements on the battlefields across Europe, soon his role will change, and his name will be involved in the darkest pages of the war. Because of him and his signature, many lost their lives. In the eyes of Hitler, he was his right hand, but in the eyes of the Allied, he was a war criminal, and we know how they ended up at the end of the war. As the war came to an end and the German army was pinned down to the wall, the Allied and Russian forces were closer and closer to total destruction of Germany. There was only one option on the table, and that was surrender. Hitler was no longer here, so someone has to stop this madness, and the decision was Alfred Jodl to sign the surrender of German forces in all Europe. On the 7th of May 1945, Germany surrendered. After this, Jodl was arrested by the British forces near Flensburg, and soon his trial will start in Nuremberg. The accusations against him were very serious. It was more certain that he would receive the death penalty, and all because of his previous actions and signatures, which suffered many people. His defense was that he was only following orders and nothing more. Even he was against these orders, but it was all in vain. And the end, his final sentence, was the death penalty. Many still remember his last words, which were, "I salute you, my eternal Germany," which still echoes in many German families even today. Maybe his life wouldn't have ended that way if he hadn't chose to be Hitler's right hand, be a hero in his eyes, but to stick to that and be a general.